So, this is the story of my Uncle Timothy and how he became the calm family man that I know today. Timothy went to St. Lawrence University for his position as goalie on the hockey team. For those of you who don't know, St. Lawrence is in upstate New York in the middle of nowhere. In the winters, this place becomes a frozen tundra, and the only thing really to do there is drink. So on a cold, uneventful Saturday night, Timothy and his friends were enjoying a couple of beers and watched the horrifying movie, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Timothy then comes up with the idea that he thinks it'd be the funniest thing in the world to scare a fraternity by acting like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He had a white goalie mask from hockey, and for some reason, Timothy also conveniently had a chainsaw. But Timothy was smart. He didn't want to actually hurt anyone, so he took the chain off the chainsaw and went to the frat house. Timothy then put on his white mask and revved the chainsaw. The party guests scream in horror and sprint out of the house as fast as they can. In the hysteria, a girl cut her finger on the screen door as she was leaving. St. Lawrence is a really small school. It's about less than 2,000 undergrads, so word travels pretty fast. Word got out to the dean that there's a crazy student imitating the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and at a fraternity house, he sawed off a girl's arm. So the dean and some police officers search in panic for this mass murderer. Meanwhile, Timothy is beside himself with laughter and comes back to the room to enjoy more beers with his buddies to celebrate. A few beers later, Timothy thinks it would be even more hilarious to put the chain back on the chainsaw and saw his furniture into pieces. So he cuts his bed frame in half, then he saws right through his bureau, his desk. When he had nothing left to saw, Timothy was bored again, so he decided to leave for a local bar. At this point, the dean and police have identified Timothy as the Texas Chainsaw murderer. And when they finally find his room, they see that he's gone absolutely crazy and sawed up his entire room. They couldn't find Timothy that night. Timothy wakes up the next morning, not really remembering the night before, but has a note saying that he needs to meet with the dean immediately. Timothy was expelled later that day. Moral of the story is, do not imitate mass murderers. And this is why Timothy is now the calm version of himself, dedicated to raising his wife and kids.